Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today I want to talk about why the people of Washington State need to arm themselves now. So in Washington, even though we all saw the writing on the wall, we all saw this coming from a mile away, I still can't believe it's actually happening, but Washington is giving preferential treatment to criminals while tying the hands of law enforcement. So there's these new rules that are going to be taking effect very shortly in Washington that govern how law enforcement officers operate. One of the things that they're not allowed to do under these new rules is essentially chase people or pursue anybody who is a suspect in a certain crime. Now, these are not small crimes. It's not like somebody stole a pack of bubble gum or something. These are big crimes where, let's say that I have a restraining order against somebody and that somebody shows up and smashes windows, starts breaking down my doors, right, is threatening me and so forth. I have a restraining order against them. They're ordered by the court not to be anywhere near me, but they are, and they're doing what they're doing. If law enforcement shows up and that guy runs, they are not allowed to pursue him. So basically he gets off scot-free, and if he's that angry that you called the cops and then he went through all that trouble, there's a pretty decent chance that he's actually going to be coming back, and next time he's going to feel more emboldened because he's going to know all he has to do is run again. He doesn't have to do anything else. He can do whatever he wants and then runs. So obviously you can see that this has the potential to increase crime and increase the number of victims of crime in the state of Washington. It basically demolishes what police can do to actually catch a suspect, and it increases the amount of victims that are going to be in the state. And hands down. So effectively, law enforcement is not allowed to protect you. If you were to take a broader look at all the new rules that they have, law enforcement is not allowed to protect you from somebody who just committed a specific crime against you. So this is absolutely, terrible what's happening in Washington, but for the good people of Washington, it's your responsibility now to protect yourself. Now, it's always been your responsibility, but, we have law enforcement. Law enforcement is supposed to be there, even though they always show up late, right? You make your phone call, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour later, they show up, and which time, you should be taking care of yourself to begin with. But still, we have the tendency to just call 911 and hope that they'll be there in time to take care of something. But now you need to forget that. You need to be there to protect yourself. It is a basic human right to defend yourself. It's not thinking outside the box. It's not going to some extreme, right or left. It's nothing like that. It's just a basic human right to protect yourself. And if there's not going to be anybody else that your tax dollars are supposed to be paying for to do it, you have to do it yourself. Now, the law enforcement officers themselves in the state of Washington they're quitting. They are asking for early retirement. They are moving to other states where they feel that they get a little bit more support from their, leadership. They're not staying in Washington, or they're not staying cops in Washington, which adds to the problem because not only are their hands tied behind their backs and they're not able to help people in the way that they should, but they're also stretched so thin that they can't even respond to the things that they need to respond to. So again, if you had let's just throw out a random number. Let's say you had 1 million in the state of Washington, 1 million cops in the state of Washington, right? That number is allowing for a 15-minute response. Now that number gets cut in half to 500,000. Instead of going to a 30-minute response, more than likely it's going to go to an hour and a half response. That's really what happens. You get stretched so thin, there's just not enough people to cover enough shifts that are going to be able to actually take care of the issues. So again, the responsibility is going to be falling on the people of Washington to take care of themselves. So it's best to understand what your local laws are, what you can do, what you can't do. If somebody breaks into your house, are you allowed to do this or that? It's always best to understand what your legal parameters are surrounding self-defense in your state, because each state is a little bit different. But you do have that, again, like I said, that basic human right to defend yourself and defend your life. Regardless of where you are, you can defend yourself. So anyway, it's just one of those things where I hate to see it happen to the good people of Washington. I know there's a lot of great people out there, a lot of good Second Amendment supporters and constitutional supporters out there. But then there's these other people who just cry and scream, and they make these things happen. And well, they're going to get a pretty big shock when they realize, hey, this is going to affect you negatively as well. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.